Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right in and putting a magnifying glass on a really fascinating and honestly highly strategic maneuver in the pharmaceutical world, Corona Remedies, and their massive new manufacturing expansion in Ahmedabad. We're going to map out exactly what this development means, not just for the company, but for the broader healthcare landscape as a whole.
Okay, let's dive into this. You might be wondering, why on earth is a new hormone plant making headlines? I mean, standard production lines open up literally every single day across the globe and it barely registers. But this specific facility in Ahmedabad is catching the attention of industry watchers everywhere. Why? Because stepping into the hormone space requires a massive, absolute leap in scientific capability. It fundamentally shifts a company's weight class. Let's ground this right in our source material. A recent headline from the Pharma Economic Times put it pretty simply. Corona Remedies adds formal manufacturing facility in Ahmedabad. Now, this single sentence is the core catalyst for our explainer today. Because, listen, this isn't just some basic real estate update. This represents millions in specialized investment, years of rigorous strategic planning, and a massive shift in localized production capabilities. It's a huge scientific and economic milestone, and honestly, it serves as the perfect lens for us to understand where the future of pharmaceutical manufacturing is heading. To really grasp why this headline is such a big deal, we've got to understand the science behind it. Hormone manufacturing is the specialized production of biochemical messengers, and it demands strictly controlled environments. Think about it. Hormones are incredibly potent substances. Like, even a microscopic amount can have this profound cascading effect on the human body. Because of that extreme potency, making them isn't just a matter of mixing some ingredients in a standard vat. No way. You need isolated, highly specialized suites to prevent any chance of cross-contamination. You need advanced air filtration, dedicated single-use equipment, and incredibly rigorous safety protocols. It is a highly complex, precision-driven environment. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. If you think about standard pharma production, they're generally handling stable molecules. Now, while it's obviously highly regulated, it usually manages compounds that are just far less reactive in trace amounts. But flip over to specialized hormone manufacturing, that introduces exponentially higher barriers to entry. The environmental controls are just intense. We are talking absolute zero tolerance for airborne particles and heavily restricted, specialized personnel access. Stepping into this arena means a company isn't just adding some square footage, they are entirely leveling up their technological and operational mastery. But, all right, zooming out from those specific clean rooms in Ahmedabad for a second, let's look at Corona Remedies' overall trajectory. This expansion isn't happening in a vacuum, It's a highly calculated piece of a much larger puzzle. As a growing player in this super competitive pharmaceutical landscape, they are demonstrating some serious strategic momentum right now. By adding a capability as complex and demanding as a dedicated hormone facility, they're signaling to the global market that they're moving aggressively beyond standard therapeutics. They're actively building a diverse, highly capable infrastructure that's actually designed for complex modern medicine. So what does this actually do for them as a business? Well, what's really interesting is the direct strategic impact of this new facility. By bringing hormone manufacturing in-house, Corona Remedies immediately cuts down their reliance on third-party contract manufacturers. This means they gain ultimate control over their supply chain, way tighter quality assurance, and ultimately significantly improved profit margins. It directly bolsters their competitive position simply because they can now produce, bid for, and supply highly specialized contracts that your standard drug manufacturers literally just cannot touch. Now, expanding our lens even further, we hit the macro view. Why target the hormone market in the first place? Well, the hormone therapeutic area is a vital, incredibly high-demand segment of global healthcare. We're talking about the essential daily treatments for diabetes, thyroid conditions, reproductive health, and various complex metabolic disorders. As global populations continue to grow and healthcare demographics shift, the demand for these specific biochemical messengers is just skyrocketing. By dropping a state-of-the-art facility right in Ahmedabad, Corona Remedies is placing itself exactly at the crossroads of a massively expanding, future-proof market. Let's trace how this physically impacts the real world, kind of mapping out the journey from the plant in Ahmedabad directly to the patient. It kicks off with that specialized synthesis in those highly controlled environments we talked about earlier. Then it moves into secure, temperature-regulated distribution, which ensures these super-sensitive medicines stay perfectly stable. Finally, it reaches local pharmacies and hospitals, getting directly into the hands of the patients who rely on these critical daily therapies. By establishing this advanced capability internally, the entire supply chain becomes shorter, faster, and just significantly more robust. Which brings us to a crucial question. What does localized production actually mean for healthcare resilience? I mean, in recent years, we have all seen the deep fragility of global supply chains, right? When borders close up or international shipping slows down, access to vital, life saving medicines can be instantly threatened. Localized production expansions, exactly like this major step in Ahmedabad, directly tackle that vulnerability head on. It creates this sort of regional fortress of medicine availability. It means the local healthcare system becomes way less dependent on distant imports and far more resilient whenever global disruptions hit. So, the crucial point is this: Corona Remedies' expansion into hormone manufacturing is so much more than a simple corporate milestone. It is literally a structural upgrade to the healthcare manufacturing ecosystem itself. The big industry takeaway here is crystal clear. Developing these highly specialized, strictly controlled production environments in key hubs like Ahmedabad strengthens both the economic standing of the company and the physical infrastructure of the regional healthcare supply chain. It's a massive win for industrial capability and, for sure, a vital win for long-term patient security. And that brings us to a final thought I really want to leave you with today. As we watch the steady rise of these hyper-specialized facilities, driven by ambitious companies mastering incredibly complex sciences, we kind of have to ask ourselves, which therapeutic area is going to transform next? If hormone manufacturing is successfully scaling up locally today, what high-barrier medical frontier will be conquered tomorrow? It is just a truly thrilling time to watch this industry evolve and push the boundaries of what's possible. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and I absolutely look forward to guiding you through another fascinating topic next time.